Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Drawing with Mr. Sepulveda. I'm Mr. Sepulveda, and today I thought we could do a little draw along. I'm planning on drawing the Grinch since Christmas is coming up, and I figured I could have him dressed up as Santa Claus. So I'm just going to use a pencil today and a few colored pencils as well. So I'm using the colors black, red, a light green, a dark green, a yellow, and I'm using a white as well for this art piece. Okay, so if you want to draw along with me, you could pause right here and grab those colors. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is kind of pose my Grinch out. So I'm thinking he might be standing kind of tall. So I'm just gonna use this line to kind of help me figure out where he is. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a circle over here. Use some guidelines, thinking maybe he's facing this way, but his eyes might be facing in this direction over here, okay? To show that, I'm just gonna put in his eyebrows. He's got some bushy brows. I'm thinking they're just gonna kind of spike out a little bit, okay? And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, except I'm just going to have him shoot a little bit further up. That'll be his iris and his pupil. I'm going to close off the eye over here. Just one eye. This is eye number 2. Just going to round that one out. He's got a little bit of a snout here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of a line, and then I'm going to put in his nose. So that's my Grinch's nose. I'm gonna put a line coming down here. And then the Grinch has this like really cool, really V-shaped kind of a smile. So I'm gonna try to mimic that a little bit. And of course, we can make it really large, really big. I like doing like these little arrows right over here, right? But you can make them curved lines as well to kind of signify that. I like to give my Grinch a little bit of chin hair. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to kind of bring this line up and around. Okay, to about there. It's almost going to look like a circle, but what's going to happen is we're going to have some hair over here. So I'm just going to put in a couple triangles right there. And then on this side, I'm going to give it a little bit of a gap because he's going to have a neck. And we're going to just kind of curve this here. And we're going to go ahead and put a few more hairs. Okay. And then from here, this is where we can have a few lines for the Santa hat. Okay. So I'm going to do that real quick, just a couple squiggles. I'm going to bring his hat up here. And then another line, and then we can have it kind of swoop down in front of him a little bit. So I'm just going to put that little cotton ball piece right here. Have it come down. And I'm thinking right here, I'm going to go ahead and erase a few guidelines. But I'm also going to probably bring this in a little bit more. So some hair, some hair, some hair, and then bring it down. So then we'll do that for this side. Put a line over here to connect it so it looks a little bit more three-dimensional. Stretch this down a little bit. I think on this side, I'm going to change it up just slightly, not the whole thing, but I will start bringing it in over here and have some of this fur come out that way. Okay. So just a few slight adjustments. Okay. So you guys can kind of see that right there. Just made a few slight adjustments. Okay. Then, if he's wearing like the little Santa coat, I think we're going to have some little fuzz over here as well. Okay, so there we go. Got some fuzz there. I'm going to put a little line here to indicate his chin a little bit. Right? And then we can kind of give him a fun pose, I think. And the Grinch is a little bit top heavy with his belly. So I think when we do this, or at least on my end when I do this. I'm going to kind of give him a shape like this. I think he's going to be round here, so I'm just going to put a circle over here. So I can kind of follow the shape. Maybe a little bit skinnier up top. Okay, something like this. I'm thinking the coat probably doesn't fit around his big belly, so we're just going to put in some lines here, some squiggles, right over here. I'm thinking we're going to have a cool like little arm pose, so maybe his arm's coming out here, and then it's coming down here, and his hands are probably right over here, just kind of doing one of these. Put some squiggles over here. I'm going to follow this line that I drew, but just kind of widen it out. Okay. I'm going to come around here, come down to his elbow. Going to curve it inward. There we go. And if we want to give it a little bit more, we can kind of pop it out a little bit right there. Okay. Start erasing some of these guidelines that I put in. Erasing that. And I think I can follow this a little bit. Coming down that way. And we can kind of do the same thing on the other side. Or we could probably have him holding something. So I know in the Grinch show, he carries like an ornament. So maybe we'll do one of those. So we'll just curve this going upwards this way. Put his arm this way. And then maybe we can have an ornament hanging out over here. And I'm thinking maybe a snowman ornament. Something really simple that we can kind of put on this. So just put maybe something like that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put his fingers on this. Okay, we got some fur coming out here. There we go, and then of course we got this part of the jacket. Okay, so it's looking pretty good right now. Thinking we might just put a line over here, maybe a little line over there. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. It's looking more like the Grinch already. Gonna erase this. Sorry if my stand is shaking. And then we're gonna make the bottom part really simple. We're just gonna come in with some fur here, maybe a piece of fur there. Go ahead and bring his legs close to the center. And then I think it'll be pretty easy from here because we're just going to simplify his feet a lot. It's just little fur, right? And so this part we don't have to make super great. Okay, so it's just like little fur. There we go. And then I can start erasing these guidelines. Just like that, just using just a regular number 2 pencil today. Okay. And there we have it. That's our Grinch. Okay. So if you guys want to color it in, I'm using colored pencils. You can use whatever medium you want, whether it is like alcohol markers. If you want to use crayons, feel free. You don't have to use color pencils like me. But I'm going to go ahead and start my coloring process. I'll probably do a little bit of a time lapse. So when I'm done, I'll talk to you. It's time for the time lapse. right, boys and girls, so this is how my Grinch turned out. Hopefully yours turned out really well. If you notice in the time lapse, I use a lot of just little circular motions to cover up some areas, and I kind of layer on top with other colored pencils. Sometimes you can use the white colored pencil as a blender, or sometimes you can kind of let it become a little highlight spot as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.